Let's face it, landscape architects find explaining and defining their profession rather difficult. So do their professional associations, and so do dictionaries. So my plan for this video is to have a look at what they say and then offer a definition of my own, aiming to explain the what and why and how of landscape architecture. I'll start with 3 dictionary definitions, one from the UK and 2 from the US. The OED definition is short in length and limited in scope. It says nothing about the why of landscape architecture and makes no mention of the urban design and environmental planning work, which is now so important to the profession. The Merriam-Webster definition refers to our why and how, but ignores conservation and uses the noun placement instead of design or plan or composition. Landscape architects don't think of themselves as people who develop land by placing roads in landscapes. The American Heritage definition overemphasizes decoration as an objective and planting the space around buildings as a technique. It's like saying that an artist's job is to decorate a wall. Now for the encyclopedias. The Encyclopedia Britannica definition also overemphasizes decoration, as it does development, planting, and green space. It has no mention of conservation, of the environment, of urban design, or of landscape planning. Perhaps the definition dates from before the birth of Ian McHarg. The Wikipedia definition is pretty good. It uses the word design, and the list of objectives is okay. But the lists of project types are eccentric, and the sombre photograph of the Pantheon at Star Head can scarcely represent a profession that was established more than a century after it was built. Now let's look at some definitions from professional institutes. The FFP definition is certainly bold, and it refers properly to a very wide range of technical, cultural, and environmental factors. It goes way beyond current reality, but it's a worthy ambition. The scope of the IFLA definition is, to use its own word, staggering. It refers to landscape architecture combining environment and design and art and science, and to it being about everything outside the front door, and to it being able to deal with the great issues of the day, including climate change and the prevention of hunger. The ASLA definition, rightly in my view, opens with the operational terms analyze, plan, design, manage, and nurture, and then states that the operations can be on both the natural environment and the built environment. The list of project types, though short, is good. The CSLA answers the question, what is landscape architecture, with good accounts of professional roles, types of work, and objectives. The word design is up front, but little is said about design objectives, which are important. The BDLA About page opens with a historical note, and, in the second paragraph, makes interesting comments on the nature of landscape architecture. It is explained as having cultural, ecological, and professional dimensions. I agree. But the text is not a definition, and doesn't seem to be aimed at potential clients. The CHS-LA account of landscape architecture has a proper focus on China's heritage, while also looking to the wider world. The profession's workload is summarized as a traditional core, including gardens and urban greening, and an expanded sphere, which includes other types of work. The LI's remarkably concise statement explains the profession's aims, but doesn't explain what types of work it undertakes or how they are approached. It reads too much like a description of an environmental charity. It puzzles me that the 7 accounts of landscape architecture we've just looked at don't draw on the work of the profession's best historian. Norman T. Newton, in his 1971 book, Design on the Land, asks the rhetorical question, what then should the term landscape architecture be taken to mean? He answers that it will be understood here to mean the art or the science, if preferred, of arranging land, together with the spaces and objects upon it, for safe, efficient, healthful, pleasant human use. These are good answers to the what and why questions, but I'm not happy with the word arranging, and I think more needs to be said about how landscape architects operate. So here's my definition. Landscape architects compose landform, water and vegetation with buildings and pavings. As planners, designers, managers and conservationists, they aim to create outdoor space with good social, aesthetic and technical qualities. In case you think this is too much of a mouthful, here's a short version. Landscape architects compose landform, water and vegetation with buildings and pavings to make good outdoor space. The Platonic adjective good includes both private goods and public goods.